The episode starts in 2013. Gypsy peeks through her window to watch Matt, the lawn mowing guy. It's evident that she has a growing sexual drive that of a young woman. Although her mom treats her like a baby, Dee Dee interrupts her, asking her daughter to take a bath. Gypsy reluctantly agrees, and when Dee Dee finishes scrubbing her, she's having her period. Dee Dee gets upset after seeing blood stains on the bath mat. Having her mother clean up menstrual blood is definitely a tiny victory for Gypsy right now. Considering her mom's emotional torture, she cheekily smiles before her mom starts cleaning the mat. At the hospital, a doctor examines Dee Dee and informs her that she has type 2 diabetes and has to get insulin shots. Gypsy asks the doctor if her mom's condition is serious, which the doctor affirms, and adds that it could be fatal too. Hearing this, Gypsy is scared for her mom's deteriorating health. After all, she is her daughter. Next, it's Gypsy's birthday, but she's still unconvinced of her mother's lie that her birth year is 1995, not 1991. Dee Dee lies that the birth date Gypsy found was a typo, and that she's 18 years old now. She gives Gypsy a pair of pet guinea pigs as a birthday present. Meanwhile, Lacey visits Gypsy and mentions that she met her new boyfriend online through a Christian dating site. It intrigues Gypsy, and she asks Lacey to show her the site. Dee Dee gets a call from Gypsy's dad, who asks to wish his daughter on her birthday. But as usual, Dee Dee lies about Gypsy being terminally ill and not having many days to survive. Their conversation is interrupted by a call from Gypsy's nurse from the hospital. The nurse informs that since Gypsy is now 18 years old, they need her consent for anything invasive. This gets Dee Dee nervous, and she goes to find Gypsy after hanging up the call. When she sees Gypsy and Lacey sitting on the porch, Dee Dee scolds her daughter for taking the guinea pigs outside and hurries her inside. Later, she tries to scare Gypsy about what's beyond their doorstep, such as creepy stalkers who steal young girls. Dee Dee wants to get legal guardianship over her grown daughter so that Gypsy cannot give consent. However, when she and Gypsy go to a lawyer, she keeps controlling Gypsy, making sure she says the right thing to perpetuate the act. Thankfully, the lawyer determines Gypsy is competent on her own and dismisses Dee Dee's request. In the following scene, Dee Dee takes Gypsy to a shopping mall and rants about how she couldn't get guardianship, but her diabetes seems to get to her slowly as her ankles are swelling, and she's lightheaded. Gypsy asks her mom to sit while she goes to get medication from the pharmacy, but she goes to a store where they sell laptops and buys one for herself, hoping to explore the online digital site. Gypsy immediately sneaks her laptop to their van and hides it before her mom knows about it. While returning to the mall, she finds her mom in bad shape. They hurriedly return home, and Gypsy injects her mom with insulin. Dee Dee asks Gypsy if she loves her. Gypsy reluctantly nods, but her facial expression shows she is yearning to break free from her controlling mother. Later at night, Gypsy signs up for the dating site that Lacey had told her about. She poses with a black wig and uploads her profile picture on the site. The following day, Dee Dee asks to watch Twilight with Gypsy, but her daughter's mind is elsewhere. Gypsy wants to see Matt, the lawn mower, again, but her mom manages to convince her to watch the movie. Dee Dee covers Gypsy's eyes when an intimate scene comes on, but Gypsy takes a quick peek through her mom's fingers. That night, Gypsy once again surfs through the dating site on her new laptop. She finds many messages on her profile, including one from Matt, the lawnmower guy showing off his private parts, which startles her. Just then, a guy named Nick pops up, looking to chat. Gypsy accepts his request, and soon the pair start getting to know each other. Nick compliments her that she looks like a princess. Their text conversation moves on to the live webcam. Gypsy mentions that she uses a wheelchair and vaguely explains having many challenges in her life. On the other hand, Nick says that he accepts Gypsy for who she is, despite her health problems. He also shares about having multiple personalities and his dark side. Meanwhile, Dee Dee calls her lawyer to ask about a power of attorney since she wants to control her daughter's life in any way possible. The lawyer informs that she needs to have Gypsy sign some papers before Dee Dee can be regarded as her legal caregiver. And so, Dee Dee's act starts once again. One night, she pretends she has low blood sugar and asks Gypsy to tend to her. While Gypsy is checking on her sugar level, Dee Dee says that Gypsy needs to know that lying and cheating are wrong and talks about how she ended up in jail a few years ago for such acts. She frightens her daughter by explaining the consequences of lying to people their whole life. But then Dee Dee says there's a way for them to stay safe and not go to jail before presenting the power of attorney papers. She presents the papers as a threat to her daughter that she'll be made responsible for her mother's crimes of cheating people. Gypsy hesitatingly signs her name on those documents. Later, Gypsy weeps over the webcam to Nick and says how she has been trapped all her life. She then tells him the truth about not needing the wheelchair. Instead, it was her mom who made her do this. Nick wants to calm Gypsy down, so he offers to introduce her to a strange bit of erotica, showing an explicit image. The following day, Dee wakes up to find Gypsy gone from her bed. So, she goes to Gypsy's room and finds Gypsy on the floor with the laptop still by her side. Dee Dee immediately brings the laptop to the kitchen and smashes it with a hammer. Gypsy wakes up to a thudding sound, only to find her mom lashing out on the matter. Gypsy, however, rebels, saying she'll buy another one. This only prompts Dee Dee to go nuts. She drags her daughter to their common room, throws her on the bed, and tries to tie her arms. Frustrated, Gypsy fights back and spits in her mom's face. While her mom shatters into pieces, Gypsy tries to escape but returns to her mom. This shows that Gypsy is trapped in so many ways, and one of those is psychological. Later that night, Gypsy shares more about her life with Nick as their online relationship goes deeper. She nurtures his dark side while he initiates sexual tension between them. Gypsy touches herself, exploring more about the adult world. The show then jumps to 2015. Gypsy keeps falling further for Nick, but Nick wants to come to visit her in person. He laments that they have been together for 2 years, so they have to see each other physically instead of digitally. Gypsy isn't sure since her mom would never let her have a boyfriend. She suddenly comes up with an idea Nick can accidentally run into her and Dee Dee, making it look like he is seeing Gypsy for the first time. The following morning, Gypsy asks Dee Dee to go on a Disney trip, but her mom's health seems to be deteriorating every day, as she refuses to take insulin or exercise. When Gypsy cannot stop bugging her about going on the trip, Dee Dee lashes out. She grabs Gypsy's shoulder, gaslighting her about how she has done everything to keep a roof over their head. Next, the series cuts to Wisconsin, and we finally get to see Nick in real life. He works at Pizza Peddler as a waiter but has been recently upgraded to the kitchen. His boss teaches him to cook a pizza, but it doesn't go well. Nick clumsily knocks 2 uncooked pizzas onto the floor, so he gets sent out as a walking pizza advertisement slice. Later that night, he returns to his lonely room and starts his usual routine of talking with his online girlfriend, Gypsy. As they talk, Nick playfully says that his dark side can actually do violent things like murdering people. Gypsy shrugs it off, although she seems concerned. Dee Dee informs that she is taking her daughter to see the new Cinderella movie. Gypsy then buys a bus ticket for Nick so they can meet at the movie premiere. She tells him to arrive at the premiere a bit earlier so that he can open the door for her and her mom, hoping that his courteousness impresses mom. But things don't go out as planned on the movie day. Gypsy is clad in her Cinderella dress and arrives at the theater with her mom. She eagerly waits for her boyfriend Nick, but he is nowhere to be found. Just when she starts feeling hopeless, she sees Nick, and the two are seemingly pleased to see each other in person for the first time. But when Dee Dee comes to fetch Gypsy after buying movie tickets, Nick fumbles and ends up scaring Dee Dee. She hurriedly heads inside with her daughter. Once inside, Gypsy's more concerned with waiting for Nick to come to the hall than the screen. But her expression lifts when Nick comes to sit behind her. Dee Dee immediately moves her daughter to the next corner when she sees him, but it doesn't stop Nick from following them and sitting behind them. Dee Dee gets pissed off and moves again to the next corner. Nick finally gets up and leaves, upsetting poor Gypsy, who had so much planned for their first meeting. After some time, Gypsy uses the excuse of going to the restroom to look for Nick. Luckily, she finds him in the hallway and urges him to go to the restroom where they can have some private time. There, they have their first kiss and lie on the bathroom floor to make love to each other for the first time, too. Afterward, Gypsy returns to the movie hall, pretending nothing intimate has happened. Once the movie is over, she and her mom prepare to leave. Just then, she spots Nick waiting for her in the lounge area. Nick tries to open the exit door for Dee Dee and Gypsy, but Dee Dee gets aggressive with him. She takes Gypsy away, calling him a pedophile and a stalker. At home, Dee Dee's suspicious about whether Gypsy has met Nick before. Gypsy lies about it and goes to her room to text Nick. Nick apologizes for not being able to make a good impression on Gypsy's mom, but he is determined to tell the truth about their relationship with Dee Dee. Although Gypsy begs him not to, Nick calls Dee Dee and tells everything. He makes clear that he and Gypsy have been in love for years, and that he is the father of her future children. He emphasizes his dominance, assuring her not to talk rudely, and then hangs up. This only makes things worse for Gypsy. Dee Dee switches to her aggressive mode and ties Gypsy to the bed in a desperate gesture of punishing her for her actions. This only prompts Gypsy to text her boyfriend that she needs his dark side Victor to be activated so that he can help her. She asks him to kill her mom since she cannot bear the emotional and physical torture. Nick gives a horrific stare as things are finally crossing over terror. One day while at the mall, Gypsy sneaks off from her mom to make another secret purchase. Only this time, it isn't a laptop but the same knife she plans to use to stab her mom. Meanwhile, Dee Dee panics as she cannot find her daughter. Sometimes later, she spots Gypsy in a toy store. It turns out Gypsy has had the time to hide the knife and pretend she's buying a gift toy for her mom. Dee Dee thankfully sighs after seeing her daughter, and they return home. Later that night, Gypsy confirms with Nick that it's the following night they will kill her mom, and they will be together forever. The following morning, Nick heads to Gypsy's place from Wisconsin, while Gypsy offers to clip her mom's toenails. She also paints nails, and they spend a sweet moment together for one last time. Gypsy then suggests they see Dr. Harley to change her feeding tube. This takes them out of their house for a bit. Later that night, they go to bed together, but once Dee Dee falls asleep, Gypsy gets up and packs her suitcase hurriedly. This is when Nick arrives at her place. Subscribe to see more videos like this, turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel grow. Don't forget to watch part 3. Thanks for watching.